Hello, my dear ones. Today our lesson will be dedicated to relieving tension in the lower back. The lesson will be on the Fielding Kriz method. Please do less than you want, take it easy, and you will achieve a much better and greater result than you expect. We will need a towel roll. And please skip any movements that cause you discomfort or, even more so, pain. Now, as we lie down on our backs, stretch your legs and extend your arms. Close your eyes and become aware of how you are currently lying on the floor. How does your body make contact with the floor? Which parts of your body, in particular, attract your attention the most? Specifically, and why? Are these the areas where you feel some discomfort? Or do you perhaps maybe notice other parts of the body as well? Observe how your legs are currently positioned on the floor. How is your pelvis lying? How exactly does your lower back feel? How high is it currently raised off the floor? How your rib cage contacts the floor? Your shoulder blades. What is the distance from the floor to your neck? And how is your head positioned right now? How are your hands positioned on the floor? Notice all the various sensations that come to you, and you notice in your body that you feel. How do you breathe? Do you breathe? And we will lie on our right side. Please take the towel roll. We will place the towel under the lower ribs. Lift your chest and place the towel roll under your lower right ribs, ensuring that you do not touch your chest. Then, lie down on your right side. Bend your knees. Place your head on the floor. Friends, if you feel tension in your neck here, please roll up the mat or place a small cushion to slightly elevate your head for your comfort. If you suddenly feel that it is unbearably painful to lie on the roll, please remove it and do everything the same without the roll. Extend your right arm forward in front of you and place your left hand on your right. Imagine that you are lying along an imaginary wall with the back of your head, chest, and pelvis against an invisible wall, and now begin to gently, smoothly glide your left hand along the floor a little forward and then return back. Gently glide your left palm over your right, smoothing it slightly forward and then returning to the starting position. Breathe calmly. And the sensation under your towel, if we use a pain scale from 1 to 10, should not exceed 6 to 7 points. If you feel that your breath is being taken away, friends, please either soften the towel or remove it for now. When we slide with the left hand, you feel how the shoulder blade starts to move behind the left hand, and the rib cage gently rotates behind the shoulder blade. And try to slightly slow down the pelvis so that you are not moving your entire torso forward, but rather the movement begins specifically in the thoracic region. And we begin by sliding our hand forward, gently gliding our hand behind the head with our gaze following the hand. And we begin to gently rotate our collarbones upward towards the ceiling and then smoothly return back. We move only within our comfort zone. Friends, please, this is very important. The nervous system needs to register that it is safe for us to move. If we constantly move into pain sensations, we continuously create stress in the body and the pain will only accumulate. with tension increasing. We slide our left hand forward, the hand glides along the floor, and the gaze follows the hand. And as we slightly slow down the pelvis, we rotate the collarbone more upwards towards the ceiling and then return back. And we move gradually, increasing the amplitude a little more each time while maintaining calm, steady breathing through the nose. Please do not move to the maximum. Instead, move less than you want to. This way, the quality of your movement will be much better, your spinal flexibility will increase significantly, and the tension in your lower back will gradually begin to dissipate. And one more time, we gently rotate the rib cage, turning the sternum and collarbones up towards the ceiling, moving along the towel carefully and smoothly returning. Now gently remove the towel and carefully lie on your back, and slowly stretch your legs, place your arms along your body, and just lie down for a moment, becoming aware of what has already changed in your body. The floor constantly tells us about all the changes that are happening. The floor is our mirror. How is your rib cage situated on the right side in relation to the left in this context? Maybe you are breathing in a completely different way. Perhaps your pelvis is positioned differently. Just notice and gently bend one leg at the knee, placing the foot on a support, then bend the second leg at the knee and place the feet on a support. And now, we gently lift the pelvis and place the towel roll under the sacrum. Under the center of the sacrum, not under the lower back. Friends, not under the coccyx, under the center of the sacrum. The arms are simply resting at the sides and the feet are firmly planted on the ground. Now begin to move only the right knee to the side while keeping the pelvis in a stationary position. Then return it back. You can place your hands on the halves of the pelvis to ensure that you control the movement, so that the pelvis does not immediately follow your knee. For now, we start by moving the right knee out to the side and then gently, smoothly bring the leg back. Gently extend your leg and smoothly bring it back. You can feel how movement begins to occur in your hip joint as your leg starts to move independently from your pelvis. And then the next time we move the knee to the side, allow the pelvis to follow the knee and gently and smoothly turn to the right. And our left knee is always looking up at the ceiling. Then we smoothly return the left half of the pelvis, the right half of the pelvis, and bring the knee back to the starting position. Once again, we move the right knee to the side, allowing the pelvis to move behind the knee as we roll. More onto the right buttock, onto our towel, and then we return the left half of the pelvis, the right, and the knee. And our left knee is always looking up at the ceiling, and we turn the pelvis away from it, slightly moving the pubic bone away from the left thigh, and then gently, smoothly return. Please, friends, only within the comfort zone. If you feel uncomfortable lying on the roll, please gently remove it and do everything the same without the towel. Breathe calmly. One more time. First, the leg is moved to the side, then the pelvis begins to rotate. And then we gently return the pelvis, and then we bring the leg back. Lift the pelvis and gently lower the pelvis. Become aware of how you are lying right now. You can stretch your legs for a moment and take a little break. And indeed, friends, lessons in the Fielding Rise method work very deeply with the nervous system, building new neural connections. And when we are resting, we are not actually resting. We are simply absorbing new information about the changes that have occurred in our bodies. Observe how you are breathing right now, how your pelvis and rib cage are positioned. Perhaps the legs are positioned quite differently. Is there a difference between the right and left sides? And bend one leg at the knee alternately, then the other leg at the knee. Place your feet on a support. Start gently rocking the pelvis in a forward and backward tilt. Direct the pubic bone softly, away from the sternum and the tailbone, as if pressing slightly more into the floor. This is the forward tilt of the pelvis. And then the pubic bone gently moves towards the sternum, while the tailbone is slightly stretched upwards towards the ceiling. This is the posterior pelvic tilt, and the lower back is resting on the floor. The anterior and posterior pelvic tilts, and you may already feel the difference. On the right and left sides, as your pelvis moves, we will perform a bridge. We gently sink down with our feet, tilting the pelvis back, and very smoothly, stretching out behind the knees, we rise into the bridge, lifting each vertebra off the floor one by one, elevating ourselves into the bridge until we reach the level between the shoulder blades. Then, just as gently and smoothly, we lower ourselves down, placing each vertebra back on the floor and relax the pelvis. Gently pull the feet towards yourself, allowing the pelvis to tilt forward, with the pubic bone softly reaching towards the sternum. Then, slightly press the feet into the floor, rolling the pelvis into a backward tilt, directing the pubic bone towards the sternum, and smoothly extending behind the knees, lifting up vertebra by vertebra. And a few more times, move like this, and be aware of how your spine is moving. Do you feel each vertebra, or are there perhaps certain specific areas that seem to be more tense and drop down as a whole, so you don't feel the movement of each individual vertebra or particular vertebra? And you may already feel the difference between the right and left sides. Perhaps you are moving more on the right side. Let's do it one more time. Lower down and now stretch both arms up towards the ceiling, with your palms facing each other. And we will start by moving only the right knee to the right. Just as we did on the towel, we turn the pelvis. And then we smoothly return the left half of the pelvis, the right half of the pelvis, and we return the knee to the starting position. We begin to move the right knee to the right. The pelvis moves along with the knee. With the left knee, we continuously stretch upwards towards the ceiling. Then we return the pelvis and bring the leg back. Breathe calmly. Feel how the pelvis moves slowly, separately from our thigh. And we return the legs to the starting position. With the next movement, we will simultaneously move the right leg and the right arm to the side, rolling a bit more onto the right side, while our left arm and left knee are facing up towards the ceiling. And we return the left half of the pelvis back, weighting the left ribs and returning to the starting position. And once again, on the inhale, we open up, rolling a bit more onto the right side and pressing the left foot down a bit more into the floor. As a result, the pelvis turns even more to the left. And we return back. And please, friends, allow your head to move along with your torso. The head is very relaxed, the neck is relaxed. You simply allow the head to roll. You can stay here. For those who are ready to make it a little more challenging, we open the right arm and the right thigh. Press down with the left foot into the floor. Reach up with the left hand towards the ceiling, and we slightly roll onto the right shoulder. And then, gently and smoothly returning the rib cage and the pelvis, we return to the starting position. And again on the inhale, the right arm and right leg move simultaneously. We press our left foot into the floor. The head, like a heavy bowling ball, rolls down. And we reach up towards the ceiling with our left hand, allowing the rib cage to turn to the right and the pelvis to rotate. And then gently, smoothly. We also control and return to the starting position. Friends, please, only within the comfort zone. If you feel that this movement is causing you some discomfort, skip it or simply imagine it in your mind. This will already activate all the neural connections and muscle connections. Well done. Let's do it one more time. Reach with your left hand, gently rolling. The head is heavy. Let the head just roll. And lower the arms, stretch one leg, stretch the second leg. And just lie down for a little bit longer and relax and take a deep breath. And feel what has changed, how your right shoulder blade is positioned now. Is there a difference regarding the left in any way? How exactly is your right arm positioned? Your chest Is it possible that something has changed in your lower back? Perhaps the right leg is positioned quite differently than the left. Just simply notice, and gently, through either side, we slowly turn over and lie on our left side. We place a towel under the left ribs. Slightly lift the chest and position the towel so that a little less of the towel's tail is in front and a little more is in the back. Bend your legs at the knees. Extend your left arm in front of you. If a cushion is needed, friends, please place it under your head. And we check that we are lying along an imaginary wall, so that our head does not move forward but is at the level of our chest. Do not tilt your head back. Do not press it against your chest. It should be in a neutral position. Please place your right hand on your left palm. And now very gently begin to slide your right hand forward and then return back. A very smooth movement. The right arm glides forward and your chest begins to rotate while your head rolls towards the floor. Allow your head to move. The neck is relaxed. The jaw is relaxed. Everything in your body is relaxed. And we slightly slow down the movement of the pelvis. We add a bit more movement in the chest. This doesn't mean, friends, that we are rigidly fixing the pelvis. Not at all. But we slow it down a bit and allow the chest to rotate more. And we glide forward with our right hand, starting to slide the hand behind the head, following the hand with our gaze. And we rotate with our collarbones facing up towards the ceiling, allowing the pelvis to follow the chest. And then we smoothly return to the starting position. Again, we glide with the right hand, bringing the hand behind the head, following the hand with our gaze, and we twist our ribs along the towel and return back. Please, friends, move in a small range of motion. Move a little bit, without reaching the point where you feel tension. And with each time, you feel how your body begins to let you go further and further. Your tissues start to relax, and the amplitude of movement, the quality of movement increases. But this happens only when you move little by little, when you don't try to reach the goal all at once, but when you are in the process of movement, exploring the movement, discovering how your body moves. And it is at that moment that this magic begins to happen, as the body starts to relax and allows you to let go. It sees that you don't want to treat it harshly. And when you are very gentle and careful, it immediately responds to us with great gratitude. Well done. We remove the towel and lie on our backs. Stretch your legs and stretch your arms. Notice how you are breathing right now. Has your chest become much freer to move on the inhale and softer on the exhale? What has changed in the position of your pelvis and also your chest as well? The head may be positioned quite differently. Bend one leg at the knee, bend the other leg at the knee. Place your feet on the support, lift your pelvis, and we will place the towel again under the sacrum, under the central part of the sacrum. Lower the pelvis, extend the arms along the body. And now start to move only the left knee to the side, and then bring it back. You can keep your hands by your sides or place them on your hips so that you can control that your pelvis is not moving anywhere for now. Only the left thigh is moved to the side as far as you feel that the pelvis remains stable. And we return back. We gently move to the side and then return back. Once more, only the leg is moving. And with the next time, we start to move the left thigh to the side and allow the pelvis to follow the left thigh. We turn the pelvis to the left and then return first the right half of the pelvis, then the left, and then we return our left knee. First the knee moves, then the pelvis starts to move with the knee, while the right knee remains pointing up towards the ceiling, staying in a fixed position. Then we return the leg back. Friends, controlled movement. Please feel that you understand and are aware of every moment of this movement, both there and back. We do not just drop our leg, we slowly move it away and also slowly bring it back. Then you can truly feel all the processes that begin to occur in the body. How do your joints move? How do you organize this movement? What do you use to organize it? And then we stop moving on autopilot. We cease to be robots at the moment when we begin to notice what I am doing and how I am doing it. Do it one more time. Lift the pelvis, lower the pelvis, take out the towel gently. Let's do the bridge a few times. We sink our feet in, tilt the pelvis back, gently directing the pubic bone towards the sternum. And we stretch far, far away from ourselves behind the knees, friends, without tightening the glutes, with the sacrum relaxed. The chest is soft, and then smoothly from the chest we lay out our vertebrae one by one like beads and relax the pelvis. We tilt the pelvis forward, gently allowing it to roll back into a posterior tilt. We feel a good support in our feet. Our feet are positioned under our knees, and we lift ourselves up to the level between the shoulder blades. And then, also gently and smoothly, drawing a straight line from our neck to the sacrum, we lay out our vertebrae in a straight line. Can we draw this straight line? Or are there moments when you feel that this straight line has some curves, perhaps sometimes a little, or maybe just notice? And we smoothly lower the pelvis, stretch both arms up towards the ceiling, with the palms facing each other, shoulders wide, collarbones broad. And now start to move your left leg to the side, allowing the pelvis to tilt to the left, while the right knee is directed up towards the ceiling. Then, return the pelvis back and bring the left leg back. And again, the left thigh is moved back behind the hip and the pelvis begins to turn. And then the right half of the pelvis smoothly returns the left half of the pelvis, and the left thigh returns to its place. And now we start moving the left hand and left knee simultaneously, beginning to open them at the same time, and we roll more onto the left side. And then we smoothly return back, bringing the right side of the pelvis, the right ribs, and returning to the starting position. And observe, friends, whether you are able to maintain the synchronization of the movement of your left hand and left leg, or if one of the limbs is ahead. We simply notice and try to make these movements more synchronized, and gradually start to stretch a bit more with the right hand up towards the ceiling and the right knee a little higher towards the ceiling when we turn to the left. We observe what happens with the head and the neck. We either hold the head in a certain way, or we can allow the head to roll freely and relaxed. And for those who are ready, we will make it a bit more challenging. We will open up left thigh, left arm, and we start reaching up more towards the ceiling with the right hand, pressing the right foot into the floor, and we literally roll onto our left shoulder, then smoothly return to the starting position, rib by rib. And again, on the inhale, we open to the left, rolling a bit more onto our left side with the right hand, reaching up towards the ceiling and lifting the right knee up towards the ceiling, rolling onto our left shoulder, and then smoothly, gently, and slowly returning back. And we continue observing what happens with the breath. Is there a feeling that at some point you start holding your breath? Please, friends, allow your breath to be as continuous a flow as a stream of water. Your breath flows throughout your entire body all the time, continuously. One more time. Well done. Let's return. Stretch one leg, stretch the other leg. Just lie down and relax. What is Paul telling you right now? What changes is he telling you about? Has the floor become softer? Or perhaps maybe have you become softer? How do you currently feel the area of support of your chest? How are your shoulder blades positioned on the floor right now? How is your head positioned on the floor right now? Once again, bend one leg at a time and place your feet on the ground. Now position your feet a little wider, approximately shoulder width apart. And please, friends, place your feet close enough to your buttocks so that you won't have any tension in your legs. Because if your feet are positioned far enough apart, you constantly have to hold your legs up with your muscles. We position ourselves in the most optimal way, where there is minimal tension created in the body. The arms are just slightly to the sides. And now start moving your left knee to the left and your right knee to the left. And you start to move your knees to the left, gently twisting and smoothly returning. And please, friends, let's move with a very small amplitude for now. For now, we only move our knees to the left. First the left knee, then the right. And we return back. And you start to observe how at first the left knee moves to the left. Then the pelvis begins to turn to the left. The right knee starts to move to the left. The lower back begins to move with the pelvis, and the rib cage follows the lower back. And start to gently turn your head in the opposite direction from your pelvis. Then return back. And again we start to move the knees to the left, the pelvis turns to the left, and the head gently turns to the right. And your gaze follows the movement of your head. Start to initiate a very smooth movement of your gaze. Don't try to reach the final point immediately. You trace the entire path with your gaze from the starting position. Then your gaze carefully and slowly glides to the right, and your head turns to the right. And how gentle the movement of your eyes is, friends. Or do you feel that your eyes start to jump somewhere with some kind of jerky movement? Try to make it smooth and calm, in a manner that is continuous and very uninterrupted. Don't try to push your eyes to the limit right away. The process itself is what matters. The knees move to the left, while the gaze and head turn to the right. Now start to turn your gaze and head to the left along with your knees. And return back to the starting position, directing upwards towards the ceiling. And once again, the gaze very gently, my friends, glides to the left along with the knees, while the head turns to the left. And then the pelvis and head smoothly return to the starting position simultaneously. Try to synchronize the movement of the pelvis and the movement of the head. As much as your pelvis moves, that is how much your head moves. And the gaze glides very smoothly, indeed. The movement of the eyes. And the tone of our eyes affects the tone of our entire body. Friends, the eyes are the most important part. If our eyes are strained, we wear glasses and we spend a lot of time sitting at the computer. The eyes lose their function, and this affects the tension in the entire body, of the thoracic region, our neck and lower back. Therefore, it is very important to pay attention to what is happening with our eyes. Stop, stretch your legs, and just relax. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open. Observe the changes that have occurred. Carefully and slowly, gently turn your head to one side, then to the other with a very small amplitude, watching what happens as your head turns now. Perhaps someone is feeling the connection between your head and your sacrum right now. The smaller the amplitude, the more you feel the connection. When we move unconsciously without controlling our movements with a large amplitude, we don't feel anything, my friends. We move like robots. Let's not be robots, but rather living beings in our lives, and embrace our humanity. Return your head, place one foot on a support, and place the other foot. Place your feet about shoulder width apart and gently start to move your knees to the right. First, the right knee moves to the right, then the left knee moves to the right. Start turning your gaze and head to the opposite side, to the left, and then smoothly return. First, the left knee returns, then the pelvis, and then the right. We separate the movements from one another. First comes the right knee, then we feel how the pelvis begins to rotate. Then the left knee starts to move to the right. Friends, let's separate the movements from each other. We do not move as a single layer. Instead, we create movement in each joint. Because our posture and the health of our posture is a distributed movement across all joints, where each joint performs its function. If we always move as a single block or mass, we are constantly moving in certain joints, creating tension there, and wearing those joints out. Meanwhile, all the others are stuck together and have no movement. Therefore, we create movement in each joint so that our posture is healthy, functional, and natural, and our bones are in the correct position. Then our whole body will be healthy. The muscles will be in balance at a normal tone rather than in tension. Gently glide with your gaze. Friends, while I chat with you, you can continue to breathe and move your eyes smoothly, or you switch your focus to me and forget about your breathing. Can we remain centered within ourselves, even when something is happening around us, just like in life? Can we maintain inner balance and inner harmony while also being present in the external world? Well done. Now we start moving the legs and the head in the same direction. Let's begin. Knees to the right and gently turning the head to the right, then returning to the starting position. The right knee, left knee, and head with the pelvis begin to turn to the right simultaneously and also return back at the same time. Allow your gaze to be soft and relaxed, very free, following the movement of your head. And breathe, friends. Observe in general. Are you breathing, or do you completely forget to breathe? And then in everyday life, you forget to breathe. When we are not breathing, we have constant tension and stress in our bodies. We are always in a state of chronic stress. And then all our resources, our life force, are spent on somehow surviving, somehow inhaling, and somehow exhaling. The muscles must always be kept in a state of tension. A lot of our life energy is spent on this, which we could use for much more, for living. Let's return. Stretch your legs one, then the other. Lie down, rest, and take a deep breath and relax. Notice what has definitely changed, and most likely a lot has changed. Bend one leg at the knee, bend the second leg at the knee. Place your feet on the support. Wrap your arms around your chest. Hug yourself. Your left arm is hugging you around your right shoulder blade. Your right arm is around your left shoulder blade. Your legs are bent at the knee. And start gently rotating your chest now. Slowly to the right, then to the left. In a slow and small amplitude, friends. Very slowly, very controlled. The chest rotates and the gaze and head follow this movement to the right. And your knees stay in place and your pelvis stays in place. We slightly slow down the movement of the knees, creating movement specifically in the chest. Only in the comfort zone, friends. You should not experience any discomfort anywhere. If you feel discomfort, please reduce the amplitude or simply visualize the movement. Everything will happen right now. The gaze slowly and carefully follows the movement of the head. We are breathing calmly together, in unison. And it feels like we are pulling ourselves with the right hand by the left shoulder blade, turning the chest slightly to the right, while with the left hand we gently pull ourselves by the right shoulder blade, turning the chest to the left, just a little. We are simply helping ourselves. And now start to move the chest to the right, while slightly moving the legs, knees, and pelvis to the left. Friends, a small amplitude, and we return to the center. Now we move the chest to the left, while we start to move the pelvis and knees to the right. If by any chance, friends, you feel discomfort in your lower back, please do not perform this movement. Stay with the previous movement. Very small amplitude. The chest moves to one side, while the pelvis and knees move to the other side. A very small amplitude. Your knees should not move towards the floor at all and should not try to touch the floor. This is a very small rotation in the chest and pelvic area. It's not about amplitude, friends. It's about the quality of movement. Listen to what is happening inside. As the chest gently rotates in one direction, the pelvis gently rotates in the opposite direction. How your entire spine twists during this movement, vertebra by vertebra. And let go of everything. Stop, stretch your legs, stretch your arms, just lie down. Become aware of yourself as a whole. Have you become more complete, integrated, and balanced? And very smoothly, through a gentle roll from either side, we rise to a standing position with grace and poise. Very slowly and carefully stand up, and my dear friends. And now feel how you are standing right now. What exactly has changed in your current standing position? How do you feel the support in your legs? How exactly is your chest positioned right now, currently over your pelvis? How does your lower back feel? Gently turn to one side, then to the other side a bit. Walk around the room a bit and notice the changes that have occurred. Please, for at least the next 5-10 minutes, do not pick up your phones, but spend a little time with yourself, walk around, and allow the changes that have just occurred to take root within your body. Don't rush to do things right away. Spend a little time with yourself. And then be sure to definitely share how you are. Wishing everyone a good day.